Welcome back, everyone. I'm Doug Reardon.
And I'm Janice Allen. While most professional sports have yet to resume, in just a couple of weeks, most college sports are supposed to start preparing for their fall seasons.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it. Derek Francis live in the newsroom to explain what's happening, Derek, at the lower levels of collegiate athletics right now.
Yeah, guys, we certainly know Division I sports big-time business thanks in part to the lucrative TV deals they have in place. But for thousands of smaller college athletes, how much the pandemic changes things for them may depend on each school.
I was working really hard, wanted to do as best as I could for my senior year, just to go all out, and then next thing you know, it's gone.
Jenison 2020 graduate Chase Post talking about when he found out his final high school season of lacrosse had been canceled.
I mean, it was rough. I was heartbroken. I was so upset.
After what was essentially a canceled spring sports season for much of the country.
Really, student athletes are just now starting to come back across the country.
The planning is now well underway to make college sports happen this fall.
And we're going to keep proceeding like it's full steam ahead and that we can participate and have everything going, and then we'll adjust as we need to.
We at some point have to get back to full contact sports, right? So without physical distancing, without those types of things.
While many schools across the nation have eliminated some of their programs to save money.
We're not looking at it making any cuts. As of right now.
Neither Hope College nor Grand Valley State University will be cutting any sports, and the NCAA is trying to help. At the Division II level, they're reducing the maximum and minimum number of games for each school, while still allowing teams to qualify for the postseason.
All the sports, the maximum number of contests was reduced, anywhere from 10% to 25%. So our football schedule, it has been reduced from 11 games to 10 games.
At the Division III level, the NCAA also adjusting the minimum games allowed.
Allows schools flexibility, so if they only want to play, I think it's 6 games in football, then they could get away with that. That allows some different things institutionally.
But how many fans, if any, will be allowed to watch those games from the stands is another issue.
No fans would be very, I don't want to say catastrophic. That's such a strong word. I'll be honest, Derek, it would not be good. And it would mean some cutting of possibly some positions. It would mean, when you think about what makes up a budget in any organization, it's people is the biggest hunk of it. When you lose out on $300,000, $400,000 and just one sport ticket sales that supports a lot of the other operations.
Becker says she's run a budget model with 50% lower ticket revenue for the entire year, and Grand Valley State would still be fine, but limiting fans would affect a second bucket of money tied to marketing and advertising revenues.
It's a huge piece that's tied to having 14,000 fans in a football stadium so that businesses can get that return on investment.
At Hope College, it's mostly just making sure the seasons happen with or without fans.
To be honest, right now, that gives us one less thing to stress about. For most Division IIIs, the bottom dollar really comes down to enrollment. So if we don't play, if we don't play football, that could have a significant impact on whether or not students would enroll in our institution in the fall. They might say, hey, I'm going to take this semester off and come back next year or do something like that.
And while recruiting has been a little different of late.
We just opened up yesterday or really this week, allowing our coaches to be able to travel to recruit off campus. So all of our recruiting since really March has been virtual.
Thanks to video technology and year-round camps.
Get that all together. Start signing out to the colleges you want to look at.
The pandemic will not stop players from extending their careers, like Chase, who committed in December to play lacrosse at Division II Davenport University.
After just missing the senior season, I'm just absolutely stoked to be able just to play. It just makes you realize. So it just made me super excited to get back on the field next spring. And
a lot of people excited about sports eventually. Carrie Becker at Grand Valley told us about recruiting. It all depends on the sport. Many of the Grand Valley State University women's sports actually do their recruiting far earlier, guys, so they actually had their 2020 class in the books well in advance. They even had some 2021 and 22 classes in the books. Baseball, on the other hand, guys, certainly much later. Players often wait to make their commitment as late as possible, and not only did baseball miss their entire spring season, but a lot of those summer ball seasons being compromised right now as well. But if a school hasn't cut your son or daughter's sports yet, chances are they've made it through the toughest hurdle, and there could be reason for optimism soon, hopefully. In the newsroom, Derek Francis, Fox 17 News.
Right. Derek, thanks. And as Michigan begins to rebound, we want to hear from you. If you know a person or group helping others get back on their feet, call the